Hello, Nick. So here we are. We are through the late spring and early summer turns of 1776, and things have definitely changed. The late spring turn started out the British reinforcements. They got Howe's fleet. I believe that there was an Admiral Howe. I think I thought that earlier. I was right. Also, Grant and 10 British regulars and Knyphausen and 10 German regulars were coming from Europe. All that the colonials got was Nathaniel Greene to the leader pool. So Howe was down here. I believe he had an army already formed last time when I left off. But things proceeded. What's his name? Cornwallis had gone and taken Georgetown, and then Knyphausen had come in, used his one move, and I think there was like two militia here that he easily dispatched. Clinton with his 10, or was it Clinton or Gate? Yeah, Clinton. No, Grant. Grant had come in here, landed where Knyphausen was, moved inland. Eventually left 4 here, 6 here. Later, Grant switched with Clinton during the transfer phase at the beginning of the early summer turn. Howe had started dropping off some garrisons to secure those spots, and then with Charleston here totally surrounded, he went in for the kill. The Battle of Charleston, Howe with his army of 10 SP took on Nathaniel Greene and 5 SP. The colonials had basically wasted an activation to get Greene down there to try to make it so it would take something big to throw them out of there, and it did, because Howe's an A. He had Cornwallis join up with him, so you got 2 A's, and then they've got a tactical commander. So it was a bloody battle, but it came out to luckily for Howe, his size gave that both sides took 2 SP losses, but Howe had 3 stars to Greene's 2 stars, and since there was no place to retreat to, the rest of Greene's force was destroyed. Greene was leader swap, so he's back in the leader pool. But that they'd already secured Georgia, Knyphausen and Grant, and then Clinton transferred, and then they had secured North Carolina, and taken Charleston had secured South Carolina. So the whole deep South was in British hands. They had used their loyalist chit to raise some loyalists down there. And to my knowledge from the rules, loyalists aren't restricted like the militia are, where like the colonial militia, they can leave their state, but they can't leave their region. I don't see that for the loyalists, so they've been kind of tramping along with the armies. So during this time, while all that's going on, up here in the north, which really was where I thought most of the action was going to be, Schuyler had created an army and was kind of starting to eye Ticonderoga with some malice. Had Lincoln activated. There was 2 militia here. He activated, took them to join in with Schuyler. But nothing ever got going with that. And then what happened is Washington was speeding down here with his Washington's army, and was down in the the Virginia area and made a foray into the South. Came into here. There was 4 SP of regulars there. He had, I don't know, I guess 10. Another bloody battle. He did. Each side took 2 losses, but Washington gave 3 stars to the Brits 2. So the other 2 Brits retreated in with the other of their force into here. Then Howe took off, grabbed Kniphausen's 10 SP, and came in with reckless abandon against Washington. And it has just gone all Howe's way ever since. He pushed Washington all the way back over to here, and entering into into the middle, into the Tidewater. I should mention when Washington came into here, that made that space uncontrolled, which then had a militia role for North Carolina, but it came up with nothing. When Howe entered into the Tidewater area, which I need to put my militia's been raised. Militia raised in here. Good rolls in here, and Washington grabbed some militia from there. Went over here and grabbed Putnam and his militia, trying to get up to a size where he could stand up to Howe. And eventually, I can't remember exactly where, but he made a stand somewhere, got hammered again, was in Baltimore when he finally he gathered up enough force so that he would be on the big column. Let me show you if I can here. Let's see. So if I can, so the big column 15 to 20, because with the modifiers, +6, +7s. You're almost always going to be at the top of those tables with these armies able to use the 2 top commanders, and they both had tactical commanders. So Washington finally got himself built up to where he was that big, but Howe still came in. But then another horrible American or colonial roll of the dice, and another great British roll of the dice. Another 3 SP loss to Washington. Less, I think it was only 1 for Howe. So Washington had to retreat back again. Next activation, he was still on par, so he decided, since he had a battle card, he could swing it in his favor, or at least make it equal terms, because what I've been worrying about is Washington's got, at the moment, he's got 7 SP of militia, and there's nowhere, if he retreats out of the region, he can't retreat with those militia, so they'll be left behind, and he's not going to go there because that's a death sentence, since there's no way out of there. Right here. So right here, he could retreat, but that's not going to be good. So if Howe gets the jump and can attack first during the late summer turn, Washington's probably going to just abandon those militia to be slaughtered by Howe's army, and he's going to get out of there. Let me show you the army cards at the moment, if I can get in here without messing up anything. So the colonials, Washington's army, he's got 5 regulars and then the 7 militia. Good force size, but not when you compared it to Howe. And then Schuyler up here with Lincoln, which pretty decent force, and they've got a tactical leader, 5 and then 6, so 11. So they will make a run at Ticonderoga, but I'm starting to think maybe they need to come down and help save Washington's army. And then when you look at Howe here, so Kniphausen has 9 of his German regulars left. There's only 4 4 British regulars, and then 1 loyalist. And then Howe's got Cornwallis with him, and then Fraser kind of got scooped up at some point. So things have really swung. Right now we're looking at 6 political will for the British and 9 for the colonials, and that accounts for, just making sure I did it right. So I think they start the games. They started at 2. They've taken the 3 deep South states, and then there was a one-time shift for taking Charleston, and then that's the same back the other way for the colonials. So things have really turned around, and man, I'm finding that, like, you get a massive army like that, and it is tough to stop them unless you've got equivalent size. I mean, like, things just worked for Howe. I mean, his die were like, I don't think he rolled less than 10 each time, and then I mean he's adding +6 or +7, and the table only goes to 12, so it's always maxed out. It really comes down to unluckiness on the part of Washington to not roll well enough so that he can get to the top of the table, so that it would be a tie, and then would force Howe to defeat and get the demoralization. But it is really dicey right now, I think. So we're entering into the late summer turn. Oh, wait, what's this? Oh, all right. So I'm surprised that I didn't have this ready to go. So the British are going to get another fleet, Graves fleet. Oh, we're going to remove Parker's squadron, and then looks like 6 British and 3 German regulars will be coming. So that will be coming from Europe. The British don't have a lot left to do to secure the Tidewater here. They take Fort Cumberland here. They've got Maryland, and then they need to get Richmond. It's just, when they've got the chance to take out Washington, they're going at that. So really interesting turn of events. I think for the most part I've been playing things right. I did I don't know if you remember from last turn when Washington was attacking Howe up over here and chased him out, and then ended up in here with some militia which wouldn't have been able to leave the New England area. I did kind of move some things around so that there's no militia in here now, which basically there's no regulars now up here. And I think for the most part, I think that all would have been possible with Washington's maneuvering. So I feel good about that. I don't feel like I screwed Howe over the way I had at the end of the last video. And I really don't think I'm screwing Washington over. I think I'm doing everything the way it's supposed to be. It's just, man, armies are, I was thinking like, oh, what an advantage for the colonials, because they've got Washington and Schuyler, who are both 3 stars, so they can have 2 armies operating at once. And at the moment, the British only have Howe, who's a 3-star. But wow, switching to the southern strategy and starting up, it has worked really well. And I was even thinking it was a little bit precarious with when Washington came in and started breaking the deadlock by taking Fort Bernard. I was thinking, wow, he's just going to be able to pick this apart, because I hadn't been able to get the other leaders up with forces. But when you get 2 big armies facing off against each other, that's pretty much all that you can see for a while. So anyways, that's where we're at now, into the late summer turn and fall, and we'll be done with this year, and then into the winter, and have to worry about winter quarters, which I actually have some good sized forces at the moment. So I will need to take that into account. So, laters.